And a good morning. Welcome inside the Bottom Line. Cloudy skies out this morning. I came in 68 degrees. Very nice. Very nice.
Muggy?
We're still down some rainfall, but
We're down?
an inch for the year.
For the year, okay.
I think maybe a tenth or two is all we're down for the month. Of course, July is not necessarily thought of as a wet month, I wouldn't think. But for a long time, we ran way ahead of normal on rainfall. And just got a text from Greeny, Mark Greenblaw. He will join me and whoever's here on Fridays. Now that I'm back on Fridays, and we'll talk a little golf, and that'll be awesome. I'm glad that he's able to do that. Let me get my Facebook pulled up here.
I bumped into one of my friends yesterday, and he's friends with J.T. Poston, the local golfer from Hickory, and he pointed out the fact to me that, and I didn't realize this, and then I went back and did some research. J.T.'s third in the country, or third on the PGA Tour in putting percentage.
Really?
I mean, that's pretty good. Now, I don't know how he's doing, and I don't know where to find the stats, but a friend told me this yesterday, and he was surprised that he did not win that tournament the other day because he has been so good at putting, and he missed some putts late.
Oh, that's part of why he –
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
You know, the old saying is, you drive for show,
Putt
you
for dough.
putt for dough. Yeah. And I'll say it because I love watching the LPGA. They can't putt. I don't know if they can't read it or what it is, but if they've got the little books that we talked about that one day that they're maybe going to get rid of on the PGA Tour, the green book, when they did the match, when Phil and DeChambeau and Tom and Aaron, Phil and Bryson were talking, and they had that little book out, and you got to know what you're reading, but, we're 22 feet. It's got a slope of 10, and it's got a stump meter of a 3. And
Is that what it says in there?
Yes.
I'm going to show my ignorance because
Phil,
I didn't know that.
And Phil knew exactly – well, you're going to have to play it out here about 8 inches.
Okay.
I mean, he knew exactly what that meant to at least get you started. And they want to take that away because part of the skill in golf is to be able to step up there and read that. And I agree. I did not know that was part of it. I didn't know that it had that much detailed information that, you would know.
Kind of like a scouting report.
Yeah, I guess.
And you see baseball players now in the outfield, they'll pull out a card and they'll tell them what player they have to go over, and they line up in a certain way defensively. And same thing with pitchers and catchers.
I'm okay with that, but you're when you give them this book, if you don't know how to read the breaks, you've given them the information if they know what each thing means to do a calculation.
Yeah.
It becomes a mathematical equation. For example.
When do you pull out the book after every shot or right before every shot?
This just on the green.
Just on the green. Okay.
You ever shoot pool?
Yeah.
If you don't know geometry, you can't shoot pool. I mean, because if you have to make a bank shot or you have to cut a ball, you have to know approximately where that ball needs to be hit to form that 90-degree angle, or the angle to get to the pocket. So those are skills that you have to have that make you better than others. But if everybody gets the book, then you've kind of leveled the playing field there a little bit. And I don't like that. I don't like that. Scouting is fine because you're doing your homework. But I just don't like it reading the green. Let me just put it that way. That's the only thing I don't like.
All right.
Richie, Carrie, Todd, good morning. Glad to have you guys with us. But that was something that kind of amazed me when I saw that, because I've never – now, like if I go to a really, really good golf course, a lot of times they will have a course book that you can buy, gives you where everything's at and elevations and those kind of things. And I've got a little app I use on my phone that I can do that. I can tell you exactly how far it is to the front of the green, the middle of the green, to the pin, to the back of the green. I can do things like how far is it to that bunker, how far do I need to hit it to clear that creek or that pond, or all of those kind of things. but I'm not playing for $2.1 million just like was played at the Open.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, it's a little bit different. If I'm out beating it around, I need all the help I can get.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're a professional, I think you need to be able to do that. Now, I'll also say
can the caddy carry it then instead?
no, they're going to take it away from the tour.
Okay.
Take it away from the tour. Now, I think
that's something to ask Greeny, right?
Yeah, and I think in the old days, caddies used to go out and look at pin placements and kind of walk the greens before there was a book. And they would kind of know what the pin placement was, but it was based off a physical evaluation, which you could miss it. You could be wrong. So Bob said that JT had a drive out of bounds by an inch on the 15th hole in regulation that cost him 2 strokes. He then 3-putted the next hole to lose his third 3-shot lead and put him in the tie. He had played more consistently until that fateful drive. I don't know if you know this, or Bob, you may know this. How long has he been on the tour?
He's 28, so what,
so
5 years,
yeah,
5-6 years?
Could be, depending on how long he stayed. And where did he play his college golf?
Western Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Excellent.
And I think he may be the only Western Carolina guy that's ever made it to the PGA Tour, one of the few, obviously.
Yeah. Richie said he watched some of the NCAA golf championships, and they were using a distance scope to figure, the lasers.
Okay.
Most golf courses now have it looks like a mirror prism on the flag, so that it will reflect the laser if you do that. There again, I liked it in the old days when now there's yardage markers on the course usually wherever sprinkler heads are, and you would see a caddy or a golfer find that marker, and then they would physically step it off. I mean, now you can just, or you can pull the app up on your phone. It tells you exactly where you're at. The first time I had experience with that, and I thought it was the greatest thing ever, we took a vacation. This was Camden's 22. She was just a baby. We went to Wild Dunes and played the ocean course. And that was the first time I had ever seen GPS, and it was in the carts. It was a screen in the cart, and wherever you drove, it told you exactly where you were and how far, which was really neat. And that's pretty good considering that's 20-some years ago. But now it's a $2.99 a month app that I have on my phone, and I go into it and I say find me, and it tells me what course I'm on, and I begin play, and it'll keep up with my strokes. And for a couple $dollars more a month, you can put in what club you're using, and it'll keep up with how far you hit it. If you want to update it every club, and you can find out exactly where you're hitting, how you're hitting, and where it went, and it'll basically come back and map out your round. If you want to go to that level, it'll tell you exactly where you went on every hole and how you did. So, and that's fine.
What's the great equalizer with all this technology? Would it not be what we normally see at the British Open? Weather?
Oh, weather is. Yeah. But even with the golfers, like with Poston, you know how to hit it. And I heard somebody make this comparison the other day. The hardest thing to do is baseball because it's a round bat with a round ball.
Yeah.
How do golfers struggle when it's a flat face on a ball that's not moving? But yet it doesn't take but just a fraction of an inch or speed or out of angle, and that thing will take off. Yeah. Even, I mean, I hate to say it, but I love it when I see the pros, banana a ball and put it over the head of the gallery. I do that all the time. So it's nice to know that I'm not the only one, that these guys that are making millions of dollars do it too. But it is the great equalizer. That's part of it. The weather's a big thing. The other thing that affects golf is when you – like a lot of these tournaments, especially on the first 2 days until they make the cut, they'll have a group that goes off early in the morning and then a group that will go off right after lunch. Totally different golf course. Depending upon where you're at, it can dry out, greens get faster, or it could come up a rain and they get softer and the greens are slower. And so, as you said, the weather, the conditions, because they're not consistent for everybody. When most of the time you think of when you play when you play most other sports, that's kind of consistent for all participants, but not in golf because of the time of day and all those kind of things, the weather conditions that can come in.
That's what made the guy that won the British Open this year so impressive that, he's only been doing this for a couple of years. 2 years ago, he was still in college, and he's already won 2 majors. And for him to do what he did, putt the way he did and did everything else is pretty amazing.
And I've always said this too. The longest distance in golf is the 6 inches between your ears.
Yeah.
It's a very, very, very
Or go watch the movie Tin Cup.
Yeah. Love Tin Cup. That's one of my favorites. It's no Caddyshack, but it's good. All right, let me just jump right in there.
Okay. 2
headlines I heard yesterday. Okay. I'll give you the one. This one comes from David Keever told me this yesterday. Don't know if you saw this, but the Manning brothers to headline an alternate Monday Night Football broadcast.
Okay.
Now, I hadn't read about it. I was just going to wait till this morning. So they will take part in an alternate Monday Night Football broadcast over the next 3 seasons. Monday Night Football Megacast will air on ESPN2 for 10 games in each of the next 3 seasons. That'll include the Manning brothers on the broadcast. Now, ESPN owns the rights to Monday Night Football. Okay, so I guess, Ms. Kay, good morning. I guess you don't look at this as a competing product, but I hate to say this, but it is Peyton and Eli. It's kind of like when they broadcast games on Nickelodeon or something, a different spin on it. So, but it says, Peyton said, the partnership with ESPN and Walt Disney Company reflects an ongoing shared commitment to offering fans fun, innovative content. He said ESPN Plus has been a terrific partner for Omaha Productions. Guess whose production company that is? That would be Peyton's. As well as we build out the Places franchise, and we're excited to co-create a megacast format that will have something for everyone. It will debut the first 3 weeks of this season, including September 13th, which is the Monday night opener, with the Ravens and the Raiders, with the remaining 7 weeks to be announced. Now, I'm not a fan of Steve Levy, Brian Greasy, Louis Riddick, Lisa Salters, John Parry. That's the traditional crew. And I think
5 people?
Yeah, well, you got a sideline.
2 sideliners,
yeah. You know. But they couldn't get anybody to take that job. They offered that job to Peyton, but I'm guessing he didn't take it because he didn't have control. He wanted control of the production, of the content, of the concept. So they give him one.
You think? Yeah, it's probably part of that. Probably part of the fact, too. I mean, that's a lot of travel, a lot of preparation, go talk to the coaches, sit down in the film room, and I know he does that kind of stuff.
But they don't necessarily have to travel. There's a lot of people not traveling.
Well, I mean,
on it live broadcast.
I mean, a couple of years ago, but before, obviously, everything hit last year. But with this deal, I bet you 10 games. Are they selecting the 10 games? Why not the whole schedule?
They will before it's over.
No, they won't. I don't think they will. You think they're going to do a Giants game or a Denver game?
Oh, yeah.
You think?
Wait and see.
You think?
Wait and see.
You think
they're going to wait and see what kind of numbers it pulls?
You think Daniel Jones has a bad game that Eli is going to criticize him?
No. But wait. Here's the deal. Offering multiple Monday Night Football viewing options for the next 3 seasons continues our innovation efforts and provides additional value for our fans. Peyton and Eli will bring a different approach, delving into conversation about broader, big-picture topics while also honing in on the game, much like fans do when they're watching with family and friends. I told you, I loved Dennis Miller when he was and Tony Kornheiser when they were on Monday Night Football, because if I'm watching Monday Night Football, I don't need you to tell me about it. I don't need for you to describe. It's like I do. You do play-by-play. It's a different play-by-play between a video game and an audio game.
Sure is.
And in a video game, you're able to do other things, to talk more. You don't have to bring that constant play-by-play call to it. And I think that's what they're going to do. I think that's what you're going to see.
Yeah, I just don't – I like the idea. And they'll bring the Matt Damons and they'll bring all these celebrities in there to talk. But if the game is a bad game, or if one of their former teams is having a stinker, Cowboys and Giants on a Monday night,
I don't think you're going to get into any kind of critiquing of the game.
Then they'll get criticized. There'll be a bunch of people criticizing
Not if they never start it, and if they don't pull favorites. If that's not a part of their content or their outline of how they want to do a game, if you never go there, if you never set that precedent, you don't have to worry about getting criticized. And if you want that, flip over to ESPN.
They're not going to criticize them either.
ESPN's not?
No, I don't think so. I mean, the crew you mentioned, I don't think do.
Then that's on them.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I think they're going to give you an opportunity to – and honestly, I don't think anybody wants to listen to that other crew on Monday Night Football.
Well, 5 people, I think it's way too much.
And I'm trying to think of the last decent crew that I liked on ESPN Monday Night Football.
I think Gruden.
Let me do this.
I think Gruden was pretty good.
I'm gonna and Mike Tirico.
Yeah.
Let me take a break, and I'm gonna go back and pull up the ESPN broadcast crews, and just see, kind of where it was. David Willis, good morning. Tyler, good morning. The other topic we're going to get into today, the one that's going to make me get loosened up here, big announcement from the SEC yesterday. Did you see that?
I don't know. Today's media day.
Yesterday, the SEC announced.
Commissioner?
Yes, sir. No postponed games. If there's a Rona issue, you forfeit.
I
want to see them hold to that. I think you forfeit depending on who it is. And who takes the forfeit?
The team that –
what have both of them got? What's the limit? And where this came from, and I'll get more into it as we go on, I think 80% of their schools and players have been vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
That's still not a fail-safe. You can still test positive. Are they just going to say, okay, if everybody's been vaccinated, testing's off the table? I'll just have to see them pull a forfeit in a huge game. I'll have to see that.
Where do they keep changing, moving the goalposts from percentages of people vaccinated to antibodies? Where do you have to get herd immunity? We haven't heard that word in a long time.
When you find out,
let you know.
You let me know. We'll take a break. Back in a minute.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver, or visit mooneyinsurance.com. Stifel Nicholas now has an office in your community. Stifel Nicholas is a full-service organization offering a wide range of investment vehicles and services. These include money market funds, CDs, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, annuities, retirement plans, and managed accounts, to name a few. Our financial advisors will sit down with you and help you tailor an investment plan, explaining strategies and investments which may help you achieve your personal goals. Call 4Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. Welcome back. Glad to have you here on a cloudy, I bet it's going to get muggy here in a little bit, Tuesday morning. Could be worse. Could be 1,000,000 degrees out there.
It could be.
But it's not. So I'm anxious to see this new format and just see what it brings. I just don't think.
What was you think ESPN's ulterior motive here? Do you think that they're that? They've tried to get Peyton on board as part of the broadcast team. They've tried Tony Romo before he re-signed with CBS. Do you think this is a way for
Cooper's on Fox?
Yeah,
or he was. Pregame.
Do you think that ESPN wants to get Peyton on the broadcast in whatever form they can, and this is one way to do it?
If they've got a network where they can put him,
yeah, and
the only way he will come play ball is if he gets control, which is apparently what this is. I just don't, like you were saying, I don't see Peyton getting on somebody's case and criticizing.
No.
That's just not who he is. And I think because this is being produced by his production company, which tells me he has control over content, then they can't have the post-game meeting and say, we really need to bring some of these other areas out. I don't think that's the case.
Yeah.
And I think that's the only way he would agree to do it.
Maybe. When is ESPN's, I wonder, their deal with –
it's pretty new, I think.
Is it just – I know they signed all these mega deals late last year. I didn't know when they go into effect. Maybe this is their way of keeping the program Monday Night Football is to have guys like Peyton and do this kind of thing. Okay,
ESPN, the NFL were near a $2.6 billion. Did you hear me?
I did.
Billion.
Okay.
That's why 4 had to pay so much to go to Disney, because ESPN's owned by Disney. They expect currently they were paying $1.9 a year for Monday Night Football rights,
and that expires next year.
end of 2021.
Okay.
So it looks like they're going to re-sign, and I don't see where they have re-signed it. Maybe they have. That's just an article. So you're right around this time frame. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I guess I'm a little bit curious. When ESPN buys those rights, does that mean they can put alternate
the alternate programming?
programming?
Yeah. I mean, NFL.
It's not tied to just one.
No, I don't think so. It may be, but I may be wrong. But I don't think that's why they have the NFL Live programming and the Monday night matchups and the Sunday morning shows and the pre games and the highlight shows, and they do all that throughout the week. That's all part of the package, I believe. That way, they get more, as they say, inventory.
Okay. All right. This is from 1970 on. Okay, we know the original was Keith Jackson, Howard Cosell, and Dandy Don. And then Keith Jackson only lasted 1 year.
Yeah.
And then Frank Gifford took over. And Frank Gifford went all the way through 1985 and then it became Al Michaels and Frank Gifford. Frank Gifford moved out of the play-by-play role into the analyst role. Now, during the Frank Gifford, Howard Cosell, Don Meredith.
It was only a couple of years, right? It wasn't as long as we think.
It is. 1970 to 1983, 13 years.
No, Don Meredith wasn't on Monday Night Football for 13 years.
He missed 2 years in 75 and 76. This is straight off ESPN site.
Really? Dandy Don was on NBC for a long time.
Well, in 74, they added Fred Williamson, and he was terrible. And then in 75 and 76, Don wasn't on. Maybe that's when he was on NBC, and Alex Karras was in. And then he came back in 77.
I knew he came back.
And then in 79, Fran Tarkenton was a fourth man for 4 years.
I didn't know they had 4 men.
And then the Juice was a fourth man for 83. He replaced Howard Cosell in 84. Did Howard pass away in 83?
No. He just got fed up. He got fed up, yes.
Okay, and then in 85, it was Gifford, Simpson, and Namath. And then in 86, it was Michaels and Gifford. And then in 87, they added Dan Deerdorf from 87 to 83. And then in 94 to 96, they added Lynn Swann. So it was Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, Dan Deerdorf, Lynn Swann. So Frank Gifford was on for 27 years.
Yeah.
From 1970 when it debuted until 1997. Then in 98, it was Al Michaels, Dan Deerdorf, Boomer, and Leslie Visser. Leslie Visser took Lynn Swann's place in 97. And then in 99, it was Michaels, Boomer, and Leslie. And then in 2000 is when Dennis Miller came in for 2000, 2001. And
19 years
you know what? I didn't realize that Dennis Miller was never on there with Tony Kornheiser. I thought they were, but 2000, 2001 was Al Michaels, Dan Fouts, Dennis Miller, Melissa Stark, and Eric Dickerson for 2 years. And then in 2002, it was Al Michaels, John Madden, Melissa Stark, and then in 3, Lisa Guerrero took over, and then in 4 was Michelle Tafoya. I really like Michelle Tafoya as a sideline.
Yeah, she's
probably
yeah.
my favorite of all of them. And then in 2005, and I don't know who Sam Ryan is, he joined them. And then Madden must have went back to Fox in 06 or CBS, wherever.
He's been in all, maybe NBC. NBC.
Was he on NBC?
Yeah, they did the whatever that was 2009 Super Bowl when the Steelers and the Cardinals played. Yeah, okay. Al and John worked for I think all the networks.
And then in 06 is when Mike Tirico came in, and he had Kornheiser and then Gruden, and that was kind of Another guy that I really like, I was never a Theismann fan, but in 06 they had Theismann, and then Susie and Michelle DeFoya were both there for 3 years. But in 07, Jaworski came in. I like Jaws.
Okay.
I always liked Jaws in that role. And then they had the three-man crew of Tirico, Gruden, and Jaworski for about 3 years. And then it was just Gruden and Tirico and Salters. And then the disasters started after that. In 16, it was Sean McDonough, John Gruden, Lisa Salters. Gruden wasn't the same without
Tirico.
And then 17 was the same crew. And then 18 for 2 years was Testator, Jason Witten, Booger McFarland, and Lisa Salters. I like Booger. I liked him better than Witten. And then in 19, it was Testator and Booger and Lisa Salters. And then this year, Steve Levy, Brian Greasy, and Louis Riddick and Lisa Salters. Richie said Tirico, Gruden, and Jaws.
That wasn't bad, yeah.
That was a good crew. So when you go back and you look through that, what would you rank as your best lineup?
The best lineup, I would say.
If you could sit and listen to them.
Oh, I think we all go back. It's like music. In our formative years, the people we remember are the ones that affected us the most. Or I would say Dandy Don and Frank Gifford. Yeah, I'd probably go with one of the originals and throw in Howard. I just think people made it something that was must-watch because they never knew what Howard would say. And those highlights he did, I mean, he did them impromptu. Mm-hmm. And those halftime highlights, they were excellent.
The Michaels, Gifford, Deerdorf
that was not.
combination,
I like that.
That was a pretty good.
They all got along.
I guess is Dan still on NBC?
No, Deerdorf. No, he's I think he's a color analyst now for the University of Michigan, his alma mater.
Okay.
Yeah, he's on the radio there.
I wasn't sure because he was a color, or maybe I'm thinking.
You're thinking about Dan Fouts.
How long has it been since NBC had weekly NFL football?
Oh boy, since Fox came along.
Okay, maybe that's what I'm thinking.
Had to be in the 90s, sometime in the 90s.
I'm looking here. Let's see. Played for the Cardinals. Okay, all right. When he left Monday Night Football, he went to CBS.
Yes,
and he was there for 14 years with Vern Lundquist. That was a good crew too.
Yeah, it was.
And there are some good Sunday
afternoon
crews.
You know who Vern introduced into the Pro Football Hall of Fame? Terry Bradshaw. They were a crew together for a number of years on CBS. When Bradshaw first started out after his playing career, he was a color analyst for CBS.
Richie said he would go with Don, Frank, and Al. That was as good as but you mean Dan? Because there was no Don, Frank, and Al. Meredith never worked with Deerdorf. It had to be Dan, Frank, and Al. I'm gonna pretend that was a misspelling. Dan Deerdorf, when he was paired with Greg Gumbel, became the second crew, the number 2 crew on CBS behind Jim Nantz, Phil Simms.
Okay.
And boys, how quick did they kick Phil Simms to the curb?
As soon as Romo retired.
I'll give you an NBC crew. Do you like?
I like Enberg and Olsen.
No, that's way back in the day.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say, do you like Chris Collinsworth?
I do. Yeah.
It took a while.
Yeah. He says a lot of things because of his background and who he played for against certain teams that he played against. Mm-hmm. But I think the guy does his homework, and I always respect people that do their homework and say things that they know to be true. Now, he has opinions, obviously, but like Romo, I think Romo is impromptu. He says a lot of things off the wall.
It took me a long time to get.
I can't get used to him. He says a lot of things that I'm sure he probably regrets that he needs to take back, or he overreacts. I don't think that Collinsworth does
too much.
Yeah, let the game breathe, as they say.
Yeah, especially when it's on TV. Mm-hmm. Audio, you can go a little deeper if you're radio, but when you're TV, people can see it. They don't need your help on a lot of stuff.
When I guess Romo started, he was good at calling the plays or selecting.
It was the insight that he brought.
Yeah.
But sometimes I thought the insight was too much.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was too much inside baseball so much.
Yeah. Deerdorf, I don't know if you knew this or not. Do you remember Cardinals quarterback Jim Hart?
Mm-hmm. Number 17.
He and Deerdorf were co-proprietors at a steakhouse in St. Louis called Hart's. And it was open for 30 years. It closed in 2013, but they ran this steakhouse. And Deerdorf is also one of the investors in KTRS Radio.
In St. Louis. Yeah, I worked for them one time.
Okay. And the other thing, you go back to Deerdorf and Jim Hart, one of my favorite offensive linemen played in that same era.
Yeah, I did. You're talking about the guy that used to bite people. Whose name I can't remember right now.
Conrad Dobler.
Yeah, Conrad Dobler.
The dirtiest man in football. I had a guy that played beside me in high school, and his name's Danny Broadway. And Danny, he works in the paint department down at Lowe's.
Mm-hmm.
And we always called him Danny Dobler. He wasn't quite as mean as Conrad, but because he was a guard and he could get a little rough sometimes, we called him Danny Dobler. But yeah, that was a great bunch there. All right, I'm going to take one more break, and then when I come back, I'll vent a little bit on SEC, and then we'll give you what's up for today, and then we'll call it a day, and we'll go play outside in what might be rain. Back in a moment.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com.
Stifel Nicholas now has an office in your community. Stifel Nicholas is a full-service organization offering a wide range of investment vehicles and services. These include money market funds, CDs, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, annuities, retirement plans, and managed accounts, to name a few. Our financial advisors will sit down with you and help you tailor an investment plan, explaining strategies and investments which may help you achieve your personal goals. Call 4Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. Welcome back. Glad to have you in the house this morning. If you come into Maiden, be careful. The Maiden Police Department are sitting on the edges of town, and you're going to respect that 35-mile-an-hour zone just like you was in Catawba. They take it serious in Catawba, too.
Do they really? Okay.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. I saw yesterday about 2:33 pullovers just in town, and I've already seen 2 this morning.
Wow.
I went home to feed my dogs. So I'm just warning you, don't say I didn't tell you. That's all I'm going to say. Don't say I didn't tell you. I haven't seen that, Rich. I'll have to look it up. Richie says my boy Paul Feinbaum got a new contract yesterday.
Oh, and he announced it? I guess to do it at the start of the SEC media days, right?
They are in Hoover, Alabama. You remember Hoover High School?
I do.
Used to play on ESPN. SEC media days kicked off yesterday. Greg Stanke announcing that 6 of the conference's 14 football teams have reached an 80% mark for vaccinations. He said that number needs to grow and grow rapidly. We've learned how to manage through a COVID environment, but we do not yet have control of the COVID environment. One thing the conference can control is what it will do if a team is unable to play because of virus issues. He said games won't be postponed and has recommended that the conference removes the 53-man roster minimum that it put in place last year. Now, the message to the schools is you're expected to play as scheduled. That means your team needs to be healthy to compete because you can stop the Rona. He's telling you right now. And if not, game won't be rescheduled. And thus, to dispose of the game, the forfeit word comes up at this point.
Alabama, Georgia.
Ain't going to happen. Alabama, the Iron Bowl.
Auburn, Alabama.
Yeah. Alabama, LSU. Florida, Georgia. Not going to happen. You could say it all you want to. I'll have to see it put into play. You know, the only way Dan Mullen, Florida coach, after Stanke made his comments, declined to say what percentage of his team's been vaccinated, and I would say that he shouldn't and can't because it's private. It's privileged information. But noted that it was a pretty high number, and we're getting close to the threshold for a program to avoid regular COVID testing and the requirement of wearing masks indoors. It must achieve an 85% vaccination threshold. So, I'll go back again.
So they're wearing masks indoors at the University of Florida? Florida?
If you don't have that might be an SEC thing. So, I'll go back again. So, if every team reaches that 85% vaccination threshold, no testing.
Okay.
I'm asking.
No, I don't know. I don't know.
It says, for a program to avoid regular testing and the requirement of wearing masks indoors, it must achieve an 85% vaccination threshold.
Okay.
He strongly encourages fans, coaches, players, and staff to get vaccinated, saying they're widely available and highly effective. I didn't realize Stanke had that kind of medical background.
He is the most powerful man in college football, I believe.
Undoubtedly. He went on to say, and when people are fully vaccinated, we all have the ability to avoid serious health risks, reduce the virus spread, maximize our chances of returning to a normal college football experience and to normal life. With 6 weeks to go before kickoff, now's the time to seek that full vaccination.
There you go.
You got a thought on that? For Rembert, good morning to you, sir. Got a thought on that?
I've gone back and forth with he's strongly urging everybody to get a vaccination. I don't know how you can say we will not forfeit any games this year. Or I don't see how you can say if some team has an issue, they're going to have to forfeit. I just don't see that happening. Maybe it's just a bold statement by him to get into the news. I don't know. But I just think after everything the sport went through last year, they'll figure out a way to play. They'll move the game from a Saturday to a Monday or whatever. They'll figure out a way to play.
Forrest said, geez, he just fell out of bed over that statement. Well, Ford, let me tell you this. Did you know that every year, just a little useless factoid, every year there are approximately 4 deaths from a shark attack? Okay? Every year, 130 people die falling out of bed. So you need to be a little more careful. That's all I'm going to say. Or either go swim with the fishes. So back to this. What's going to happen? We're just, today's the 20th. Andrew said he thought he felt the building shake. He made it funny. We haven't heard any guidelines on high school football.
Not yet. What have they been doing all summer?
Do you know practice is just right around
next week?
I'm assuming maybe they're getting information at the
practice starts next week, Bub. High school football.
The 26th?
Late next week.
Okay, I didn't think it would start till the 2nd.
They're not going to start on the 30th or the 1st.
The 31st is a Saturday.
Okay, you don't think they'll start early?
I don't know. Somebody knows when they start. Back in the day, back when things were still on stone tablets and stuff, the official rule was you started the first Monday in August.
Yeah.
That was so. If that were the case, they'd be starting August the 2nd.
Even though they've had 7-on-7s and everything all summer.
Ford said that wasn't what Andrew felt. That was Robbie Abernathy.
Oh, okay,
he felt
yeah.
the building shake when Robbie fell out of bed. August 2nd. It's the first Monday in August. So they'll start August the 2nd. That's the first day of practice.
Of organized practice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Official. Let's get that right. Yeah. Okay, and then you can have the first scrimmage, I want to say, on the 13th,
usually
on the 10th
2 weeks.
day.
Yeah.
And then the first games begin on the 20th.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And NFL training camps open tomorrow. Steelers and Cowboys, because they play in the Hall of Fame game. They report tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think, and I don't know with the SEC, do you think private schools and public schools will have different protocols?
Private schools are going to do what the crap they want to because that's what they did last year.
Yeah. Well,
they had regular sports.
Vanderbilt.
Oh, it's a 4-truck with a big ladder.
I didn't see. I saw the light in the window. Vanderbilt's a private school, SEC. What other private schools are there in the SEC? I know Vanderbilt is. Maybe the only one. Right? Mississippi State? No. Texas A&M? Nope.
Ole Miss, Alabama, Auburn.
Most of them are land-grant
Georgia,
schools.
South Carolina, Kentucky, Tennessee.
That's about it.
Yeah.
I think
Vanderbilt may be the only private school. When I say private school, I was thinking high school private school.
Okay.
Sorry, I was going off on a tangent. My bad. I do that sometimes.
So do you think private or they go by what the conference commissioner says?
The conference. They'll have to go by the conference.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Have to go by the conference. This is another thing that I saw. It's believed to be the first deal of its kind with the new NIL. Listen to that. NIL, N-I-L, name, image, likeness. Michigan athletic officials retail store, the M-Den, announced on Saturday it's partnering with Wolverines football players to create custom jerseys to sell with players' name and number on the back. In the past, retailers were prohibited from selling university jerseys with current players' name on them, but with the recent passing of the NIL, The MDN is now allowed to sell jerseys as a customized product. Now,
does that have the logo of the school on the jerseys?
yes.
And the school's
That's what I would like to know.
Is the school giving up, their right
Now,
for the
here
trademark?
it says, right this minute, the only permission we have is to do this through our custom jersey program. The MDN president and co-owner Scott Hirth said, we could print any of the other 10 billion people on the planet with their name and number on the planet, except for the current players 2 weeks ago. So the only thing that changed is now we can add to the 10 billion people on the planet the 130 players on the team. We don't have the ability to make 1,000 of those for player X and to make that a stock program. That doesn't mean next Tuesday we can't do it, but right now that's what we can do. The custom jersey option is a loophole around that rule that the university was happy to accommodate, which is at the time the university does not allow officially licensed products to be sold directly with the player's name and number on them.
Okay, there you go.
Okay? But the university's been happy to accommodate that because they're going to get a cut of the pie.
That's right.
Customers are able to go to the website, click a drop-down menu that lists positions and player names to choose from, and create a custom jersey for a Michigan football player.
And their families, right? That's probably the families are going to do that, right? Second team offensive lineman or second team tight end.
The deal will pay each player the same amount per jersey sold and will pay each player quarterly. If one player is more popular than another and sells more jerseys, he can make more money, but each player will have the opportunity to make the same amount per jersey. I think that's the workaround where you're not going to have people complaining because, well, your jersey's up there. If nobody wants to buy it, then they don't buy it.
Yeah.
So
I think
the rules are 2 weeks old and changing daily.
It is. I think there are a lot of kids, players that are going to say, this is a whole lot of some of this whole lot of headaches that we don't want to be involved in.
But somebody else is handling it.
Yes, and somebody else is handling it.
And nobody cares as long as the university's getting their cut and the players getting their cut.
Well, the coach will care if so-and-so players out at an autograph session or out somewhere and they need to be in the film room studying. They got to be managers of their time.
Right now, their contract with each player is for the length of their eligibility at Michigan, and that's where it should be.
Yeah.
You sign a contract in perpetuity, provided you're eligible to play at whatever institution you're playing at.
And Michigan's one of the largest universities in the country.
It's an exclusive partnership between the MDN and Michigan State athletes. They are not able to profit from any other jersey sales that aren't part of the Nike custom football jersey offering. That's where the university makes their money.
Yeah.
Now, this MDN, it sounds like is a private organization, but the problem is, or what they've had to do, is they have an arrangement with Nike to sell Nike apparel. So Nike makes the goods, Michigan gets its royalty from the logo, and the players get theirs from the name.
When I was up in Madison, Wisconsin last week, we went into, they have, downtown State Street right there, the capital of Wisconsin. They have 2 or 3 or 4 different stores with University of Wisconsin apparel. That's all they have. But they have it in Nike. They have it in Under Armour. They have all different logos and everything, and I'm sure the school gets a cut. That would be similar to what you're talking about with this, right?
Yeah.
The den.
Now, let me give you this. The rules are changing, and they're also different from state to state, school to school. For example, Georgia released rules for its players that will not allow the student-athlete to use any school trademarks or the Power G logo. The University of Michigan still technically has a similar rule, but it is loosening up those rules by allowing the MDN to create the custom jerseys.
Is that Georgia passed it? The people at the school? Or are you talking about
Georgia?
Okay.
Yeah.
You're not talking about the legislature making
No.
it.
But here's the deal. Georgia is not going to pass up on selling 10,000 jerseys.
No.
They just get their regular cut. I don't understand where the problem comes from. Where's the problem with Georgia using that power logo? If they already have a contract, like Michigan has a contract in place with a custom jersey creator, that's their supplier. Okay, we just went up $5 a jersey to get it customized, and that $5 goes to that player. We still make the same amount of money.
Yeah, that's what they'll do.
But the volume should go up. The demand should go up because we've added some additional value to it. Nobody's going to walk away from money. You're not using that logo. You're selling it every day. What's the big deal? It'll change. It'll change, or people won't be going. There'll be top tier kids that will not go to Georgia because they can't sell jerseys with the Power G on. That's what's going to happen. Now we'll see what Saban says. Him and Feinbaum.
Yeah.
How about on this day, sir?
On this day in sports, first time admission change that was charged, I should say, to see a baseball game. First time they charged admission. The game was between the Brooklyn and New York baseball teams, played in Long Island. Players did not receive a salary. About 1,500 fans were on hand. First time they charged fans to come in and watch a baseball game.
Do you know how much?
I don't.
I do.
Probably about a quarter, maybe.
50 cents.
50 cents.
That's a lot in 1858.
Yeah. 1947, the NFL ruled that no professional football team could sign a player who had any college eligibility remaining.
Say that again now.
No pro football team could sign a player out of college who had eligibility remaining.
So you had to play your whole 4 years.
Yes. And that rule's been in effect since 1947, or 3 years. They amended it, obviously,
Right.
but you just couldn't come out of high school and play, or at least they changed it in 47. 1958, the PGA Golf Championship changed from match play to stroke play. 1958.
How did you have a tournament in match play?
I don't know.
Because that's a one-on-one thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
It just said the PGA changed
Okay.
from match play. 2003, speaking of golf, I had never heard of this guy. They mentioned him on the broadcast over the weekend, though. Ben Curtis, golfer.
Yeah.
Unknown at the time.
Played at Wake Forest, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so, yeah. Unknown at the time, PGA rookie, won the British Open in his first major.
Okay.
Back in 2003. Those are a couple of things I had on this day.
How about 1911? Boston Red Sox, Smokey Joe Wood. He no-hits the St. Louis Browns 5-0. Smokey Joe Woods, that's a baseball name that I know.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
No, you're thinking Smokey Burgess?
No, Smokey Joe Woods, and he's in a movie. That's the only reason I know the name. He's in a movie somewhere.
All right. St. Louis Browns are now the what? Which baseball team? St. Louis Browns.
They're not the Cardinals.
Nope.
We've had that story, but I don't remember.
The Baltimore Orioles. They moved in 53 or 54, I believe.
Okay. Let's see. A lot of Tour de France. Sorry, I'm not into the Tour de France. 1976, Hammer and Hank hit his last home run, 755, off of California Angels' Dick Drago.
Wow.
Drago.
No, it's Drago. You're right.
76.
He's playing for the Milwaukee Brewers, American League.
Hank was?
Yeah.
Atlanta let him go.
I think either that or they traded
Morning,
him
Big Mo.
for his final year or two.
Milton, good morning. Wow. Yeah. I don't remember that for some reason. 1986, British Open men's golf at Turnsbury. Greg Norman wins his first major championship at an even par, 5 strokes clear of runner-up Gordon J. Brand. 1987, Don Mattingly ties first base fielding record with 22 putouts. What's that mean?
That means that they threw the ball to him at first base and he recorded an out, or somebody hit a ground ball to him or line drive and he recorded an out. So put out means recorded an out. So he was part of 22. If they played 9 innings, that'd be 22 out of the 27 outs.
I didn't mention this yesterday, and I hesitate to mention it today, but since it happened 2 days in a row, different years, yesterday Mike Tyson was accused of raping somebody, and today in 1991 he was accused of raping a Miss Black America contestant. On this day in 1994, the Juice offered a $500,000 reward for evidence of his ex-wife's killer.
Is that reward still out there? I think it is.
I don't know. Nobody was ever – no other suspects.
Nope. No
other suspects. I remember this in 2000. The leaders of Salt Lake's bid to win the 2002 Winter Olympics were indicted by a federal grand jury for bribery, fraud, and racketeering. That is kind of prevalent in the Olympics.
Sure is. Yeah, it is.
That is a
the
dirty
Olympic
bunch of people. I hate to say it, but that's a dirty bunch of people.
That and the what do they call the FIFA, the soccer.
Yeah. Birthdays?
Yeah, a lot of birthdays today. Let's begin with the people from in and around North Carolina.
Okay.
Football player Jalen Samuels, running back, plays for the Steelers, went to NC State. I think he's from Greensboro.
Mm-hmm.
He's 25 today. Baseball player Dwayne Underwood, 27. I think he is also from the Greensboro area. And former quarterback Mike Elkins.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Wake or Carolina?
He played at Carolina,
okay.
if I'm not mistaken.
Was there another Elkins that played at Wake? I'm not sure. But Mike is, I believe, from Burlington, maybe Greensboro too. He is 55 years young today. Former Alabama quarterback Jay Barker, 49.
Mike Elkin, where did he go to high? I'm wanting to say for some reason that he went to Elkin High School, but let's see. I'm looking him up now.
Okay.
Go carry on. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Wake Forest. He was out of Greensboro.
Okay.
And played at Wake Forest.
Wake Forest.
Went in the second round, pick number 32. So that was when 89 there was only 30 teams. So that was before the Carolina Panthers expansion.
He picked by whom?
Kansas City Chiefs.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of football, Jordan Gross, maybe the greatest offensive lineman in Panthers history, 41 years young today.
Haven't had a decent offensive lineman since then.
Yeah, it's been a long time for sure. How about Bo Ryan, football coach?
Bo Ryan recruited me briefly. He was after Lou Holtz, if I'm not mistaken,
NC
at State, and then went to LSU, and then was lost in a plane crash. They never found the plane on a recruiting trip.
Yeah,
never coached a game at LSU.
Correct.
If I'm not mistaken.
You're right. He played at or coached at NC State, 76 to 79. Has a winning record. He's from Niles, Ohio, and I believe they have an award at NC State in his honor.
I think that's right.
A football award. Jake Scott, College Football Hall of Famer. Dolphins, number 13. Played for the Redskins, too. Yeah. Later played for the Redskins. Is from South Carolina, I believe.
I did not
Columbia,
know that.
South Carolina, Greenville, somewhere. Greenwood, South Carolina. He is 76 years young today. Member of the no-name defense.
He was a headhunter.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I think he was MVP in Super Bowl 7.
Did you say 13? Wasn't that his number?
Yeah.
13?
Yeah. Was he the MVP in Super Bowl 13 or Super Bowl 7, the year they went undefeated?
I don't remember. 72.
He had a couple of interceptions, I believe, of Billy Kilmer there. Anthony Alford plays baseball in the majors, also from South Carolina, is 27. How about, speaking of former coaches, Mike O'Kane turns 67 years young today, was a quarterback and a punter at, which school did he play? Clemson, yeah. And also at NC State, he was a coach for 6 or 7 years, has a winning record as well.
Yep, and was a longtime assistant with Dick Sheridan.
Yes, yeah.
And he also coached at Clemson because he was recruiting Matt Eisenhower from here in Maiden and Robert Geddes, big tight end, played for me at Highland.
Okay, very cool. Steven Strasburg, baseball pitcher, Washington Nationals, 33 today. And former basketball coach, the late Chuck Daly, would have been 91 today, born on this day in 1930.
Jake Scott has passed.
Okay, he is passed.
November. This past November.
All right.
Yep. And he was out of Greenwood, South Carolina.
All right.
And he was the MVP. Free safety punt returner from 70 to 78 for the Dolphins and the Redskins. 5 consecutive Pro Bowls. 35 interceptions in 6 seasons with the Dolphins, 14 in his 3 years with the Redskins, 5-time All-Pro, and MVP of Super Bowl 12.
Oh, 12.
13 throughout his career, and was later made famous by
Dan Marino.
And retired in Marino's honor. Yep, that's Jake Scott.
They've had a couple of good number 13s. You're right.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I've got anything to add to that.
You don't?
I'm looking. I'm not seeing anything that jumps off. You kind of handled them all today.
Oh boy,
didn't leave me a thing. Not the first thing.
And we're talking about high school football starting. Ray Allen, basketball player.
Yep.
With high school football starting next week.
10-time NBA All-Star.
Late next week, right? Mm-hmm. Or the second.
We had to get some football coaches on.
Yeah, I mean, you're hearing about so many players switching schools. A friend of mine over in Burke County says they're doing that there, going from one school to Burke County and others. I saw where Hickory's quarterback last year, Nick Everhart, is going back to South Caldwell, where he came from. He's going to switch positions. He was a starting quarterback for the Red Tornadoes. And there have been others. Bandy's lost their quarterback. I believe is going to East Rutherford. So, besides the transfer portal, at least locally, a lot of players are switching schools for whatever reason.
Interesting.
That'll be something to keep an eye out on.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see how that
develops,
all works out and plays out. Thanks for joining us. Have a great Tuesday. We're a little bit late. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one.